How would you react if I told you Tekken 8 is not only miles ahead of the competition, but is also one of the greatest fighting games ever made? It comes as no shock that Tekken 8 is an amazing experience for hardcore fans of the series and newcomers alike. So we figured it would be a good time to narrow down a few conclusions on the game a month from release just to see how it's doing so far. So yeah, this is Tekken 8 a month later. The first thing I want to talk about regarding Tekken is the list of new features that were added. So Tekken 8 comes full of features that get you going with single player content and multiplayer content as well. But before I talk about Tekken 8's features, I kind of want to highlight a critique I heard regarding Tekken as a franchise and how the developers fixed it.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad! You keep digging!
It's a difficult game. Tekken is a very complicated game to get into. When you have things like frame data, whiff punish, mix-ups, and different mechanics such as the heat gauge and
I'm in danger.
That's why Tekken made Arcade Quest, which is a single-player story that has you going through multiple arcades from various different locations, fighting opponents of various skill sets to get you slowly but surely used to these new mechanics. And it also gives out tutorials on various things such as, like I said before, the heat gauge, rage art, mix-ups, lows, highs, recommended moves. It also shows how to pressure your opponent as well as how to take a more defensive stance. So pretty much anything you need to know in Tekken, Arcade Quest will at least introduce you to it. So instead of like a 10-minute tutorial, this thing is about 4 to 5 hours of tutorial content with everything included. And there's also the Super Ghost Battle Mode where you can either download ghosts or AI clones of players online to basically practice fighting real players with different ranks, different skill sets, different styles, or you can fight your own AI clone and kind of train it to find out moves that you may spam, any weaknesses in your own playing style that you might see, and then learn how to counter those things as well. There's also the replay mode that saves all your fights, and not only does it save your fights, but it also shows you recommended moves that you could have done to punish your opponent.
I lost.
As well as shows all of your moves that were input, properties of a move, whether it's a mid, low, high, launcher, heat engager, frame data of a move, and you can even take control of the character mid-fight to practice the recommended moves in the training area against a training dummy or against the ghost that's currently fighting you.
All right, so let's get a little bit more into the feature system of this game. So number one, customization. Out of all the three, and yes, I will be comparing Street Fighter 6, Mortal Kombat, and Tekken 8 a lot, actually. But customization, this is the best customization out of the big three. Now, as you've noticed with this customization, in the other fighting games, you would have to pay like a DLC or like say $5 for like an extra outfit or whatever. All this stuff that we're getting in Tekken is free. You can damn near almost make any character you want out of any type of media outlet. I've seen other video game characters, I've seen music artists, I've seen movie stars, I've seen so many different types of characters. The customization is crazy. It's actually pretty wild. Now it's not on the level of Tekken 6 because Tekken 6's customization was godly, but Tekken 8 is up there. Yeah, they've progressed and improved on so many parts of the clothing and customization. And if you noticed in Tekken 7, if you customize your character, if you were to wear like a jacket, like a heavy set jacket, or some type of jeans, the clothing just looks puffy and it just looks not fluid. But with Tekken 8, the jackets, pretty much anything, it meshes well with the character. Like when you do an attack, it flows, like if that makes sense. But yeah, the customization of Tekken 8 is definitely up there. Now let's move on to jukebox. So they did have this in Tekken 7, which is great, and they continue to do it in Tekken 8. But for the jukebox, I also want to throw this out here too. Tekken probably has I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Tekken probably has the best fighting game soundtrack ever. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that out, and I'm gonna stand on that. But I digress. With the jukebox feature, they have all soundtracks of all previous games, of literally everything. And you can customize that to your liking on whether you want this certain soundtrack to fit this stage, or fit this different track to fit another stage. Or if you want to be nostalgic, you can pick like a, say, Tekken 4 or Tekken 5 OST, and then you can just add that to everything with Tekken 8. So I love that feature. Now, Mortal Kombat don't got that. Street Fighter don't got that. And when I want to hear some bangers, I go to Tekken. Like, the music, they got some bangers with Tekken 8, don't get me wrong, but we always want to go back and listen to the previous music because it just hits different. So me personally, I just mix it up. Now, for the Ghost Battle, this is a plus feature to have as well. When you progress through the game and you fight in arcade mode a little bit more, you get something called Ghost Battle. So Ghost Battle is a feature where you can pretty much play yourself. It's shadow boxing for real. So you can practice up on how you play and your play style and how to get better with that. So it's like you're a clone of yourself and you're fighting against yourself, but you're trying to see, okay, how can I mix up my movements with my own way of thinking? So that's a really cool, dope feature to have, especially when you're trying to go up in the ranks and play some online matches. Also, for the arcade mode, this is a little bit different than the actual story, but it's like a little mini story within itself. So Street Fighter 6 did have something like this. It's like you make a Bitmoji character, and then you go out into the world or arcade world, and you go up against different players. And with this little story mode, this arcade mode, you go to different arcades and they have a different fighting style of play. So you might go to another arcade and you're like, okay, maybe this arcade, the people there focus more on low attacks or on rushing, or on this arcade they focus more on defense, or on this arcade they focus more on the rage arts or throwing. Everything is different, and I love how they added that in.
So overall, the online experience has been good. The occasional lag spike or frame drop due to so many moves being on screen at once, or maybe the opponent's connection isn't great, but for the most part, actual internet lag that's so bad it just disconnects the entire game, very few and far between. It doesn't happen a lot. The only thing I have to say about online is if you're a King player,
Look at Randy Orton slithering. Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
But in all honesty, with a 32-player roster, getting online will obviously show you a very fresh rotation of a lot of different characters, a lot of different play styles, a lot of different skill sets, a lot of different skill levels, and with the amazing character customization that Tekken 8 provides, you might even see some characters that you recognize. I've definitely seen a few anime characters that have been recreated in Tekken 8. I recreated Trunks from Dragon Ball Z. The fit's kind of fire, I know. So Tekken 8 definitely gets points for fashion, creativity, and just an overall fun online experience. As far as balancing goes, King, looking at you, but it's still a good time.
All right, so now let's move on to this online play. So the net play for this game is great. I have had only maybe 1 or 2 hiccups to where I hopped in a match, it lagged on me and it completely backed me out and I had to restart. But other than that, I would just get online, get to a ranked match or get to a quick match. I'm in there. And also another plus that they have for this feature is you pick your character, you go into a waiting room, you pick another character if you're choosing to fight with, and that's kind of like a warm-up match. And during that time, it's finding a player for you. So you're not just sitting there waiting and doing nothing. You're actually fighting, warming up, getting ready for that next person that you're about to fight. And I love that aspect of it. Now, Mortal Kombat don't got that. I can't tell you how many times it has backed me out or I've had laggy matches of Mortal Kombat and it completely shutting me down. But for Tekken, I would say probably like an 85 out of 100% chance that it's pretty good. And when you're in the match, there's no lag, and it tells you if you're with good connection quality or not. So they don't just give you any laggy person, like they give you good amounts of connection bars. So whether you're fighting a player that doesn't lag, so the online play is great. The ranking system. So like I said in the beginning, I by no means am I a Tekken professional, but I do know a little bit of something, and I comfortably can say that I'm a little bit above average. So we are on the rank of Assailant, trying to get to Garyu or Fujin or whatever that blue rank is. But other than that, if anything above that, that's like tournament worthy. I'm not trying to do. But this is a good way for newcomers to get into and experienced players to rank up. And the ranking system is a lot of ranks, I will say. But that's with every Tekken game. We've had that. So experienced players already know what it is to get there. But for newcomers, y'all gotta crawl before y'all can run. And I can make a whole separate video on even how to play Tekken. But yeah, don't so much focus on the combos and juggling. Learn the fundamentals first. Learn how to move, learn how to duck, block, sidestep. Use the wall to your advantage. Use the environment to your advantage. Like, there's so many different tutorials and ways of just learning Tekken. Tekken is a very technical game, no pun intended. It's the hardest, most difficult fighting game to master. And each character is different with the way they fight. So if you're busy learning combos and trying to launch people and juggle them up in the air, go online. All that stuff that you learn from a combo, one person is just, that'll negate that whole thing, and you got to figure out what to do next. You got to go across. There's so many scenarios of how to go about certain things. I've seen professionals, they didn't even have to do combos. they would just end up moving around, finding that right moment, just tagging you. And then when you get caught slipping, when they launch you, it's a wrap. So a lot of these newcomers think they can do what these professionals do. Nah, family. Go back, learn from the basics, learn the movement first, learn the beginning stages, and then you can work your way up to learning how to do combos.
As far as potential characters are for DLC, I know we're getting Eddie with the Killmonger haircut. And side note, I think they need to retire that haircut. I really think they need to retire that haircut. But Eddie in Tekken 8 is going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. Because if you guys played Tekken 7 and you remember how Eddie played, he's going to be all over online play. As far as others, I'm not too sure who could potentially be a DLC character. It would be good. I'd say this would be actually kind of cool if Tekken did a collab like how Street Fighter 6 and Spy Family did like the Yor and Chun-Li collab. I think that would actually be pretty interesting if they got like Baki in there, maybe as a DLC character. I don't know if they could, but I think they should from a DLC standpoint. So, I mean, hey, Mortal Kombat had Jason, so it's not impossible.
So Tekken 8 does have some DLC coming throughout the year, and our first news of a new character, well, not really new, but reoccurring, is Eddie. And now he has the Killmonger cut. I will say that cut is getting very played out, but I am getting tired of seeing Eddie. We need a change of pace. Please, Tekken, bring back Christy. We need Christy. We've seen enough of Eddie in Tekken 7. We need her back. Also, two other characters I would like to see. For the next one is Bruce. I would like to see Bruce back. I think he focuses, his fighting style is Muay Thai, and I love that. So I was really getting to know him. I really got into him in like Tekken 5. And another character I would like to see would be Josie Rizal. Now, she's more of a kickboxer type. She was in Tekken 7. She was the new character at the time. And I would love for her to be back. But really the only main one I want to see back, and I'm not even good with Christy. I hate Eddie and Christy with that capoeira style of fighting. I can't do nothing with that. But for the general public, for the Tekken fans out there, bring Christy back, because she is a beloved character. She first got introduced in Tekken 4, I believe, and that she has been a fan favorite. So yeah, if y'all can bring her back, that's a plus. I'm curious as to see who are y'all gonna add in later throughout the year. But hey, for all y'all Eddie fans, rejoice. Y'all got what y'all wanted. He's back. He got a new cut. I know y'all not really feeling it like that. Me neither, but hey, it is what it is. I think we got 3 more characters coming up, so we'll see who they are.
Now, I do have some gripes with the game. Players plugging. Players plugging is one of the most annoying things that can happen in this game. If you don't know what plugging is, it's basically unplugging your console while you're losing a fight, so it counts as a disconnect instead of a loss. Now, while I can love a product, I can also critique it. With all of Tekken 8's features, there are a few places that fall a little bit short, but not from a gameplay perspective. Not from a gameplay perspective. As great as Tekken 8 is with its online play, There needs to be a consequence for this type of stuff, like forced disconnects. I'm not gonna play quick matches and get disconnected because someone wants to keep their rank or save their ego. If I beat your ass, I beat your ass. Plain and simple. Take the loss, bro. Just take the loss. Now, this isn't a critique towards the game per se, more of a critique on the lack of action towards the issue. If you're in any Tekken community like the Tekken subreddits or any groups on social media, plugging is a very constant issue that's talked about a lot. And also the use of spammable characters showing up a lot in quick matches. I mentioned balancing before, but I have had an instance where I saw, no joke, 5 kings back to back, and then like 4 Reynas back to back, because some random YouTube video described them as broken, and now everyone wants to play them just to get easy wins. With all the characters in this game, there's 32 characters. People pick the ones that either have gimmicks that could be exploited, or whatever the case may be, the ones that are overpowered or broken according to YouTube. There are definitely players who spam their way to the top of the ranks, and if that's you, hey, more power to you, man. But when you run into someone who knows how to play the game, it's over for you. It's over for you.
You hiding forever, Ricky. When I catch you, Ricky. Ricky, 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 when I catch you.
And also the introduction of the special mode, which is basically modern controls from Street Fighter 6. So it introduces an aspect of beginner-friendly button inputs that basically do auto combos. So think of like Fighter Z, Street Fighter 6, things like that. It's actually a good feature, don't get me wrong. But it just introduces more of the spammy playstyle, which honestly, it's not that fun to fight. It's good for beginners, but it's not that fun to fight against. Again, it's not a critique to the game, more so a critique to the players, but I can definitely see these issues putting off newer players who want to get into Tekken and then are constantly met with disconnects, forced disconnects, and then seeing the same like 5 characters rotated if they ever do get high enough in the rankings, because it's definitely a higher rank thing where people just want to keep their Garyu rank or their Tekken God rank, and they say, nah, fuck that shit. I'll just unplug and then replug it in. It's like, no, dude. But even with these problems, online play is still way ahead of Mortal Kombat 1. I'll say that shit for a fact. I couldn't find a game to save my life with those horrible servers. And when I mentioned spammable characters, Mortal Kombat 1 had it the worst with that problem. The worst. Street Fighter even had its own set of online issues. It just wouldn't let me join a private match with a homie for like days. And even with like watching tutorials and things like that just to make sure we're doing it right, it still wouldn't let me join. And also another critique that I have is the lack of a voice chat. I honestly think that's something Mortal Kombat did right. I personally think voice chat in a fighting game is a great feature, because imagine you can talk to somebody while beating their ass. It would just be so fun. So Tekken not having that is kind of a little bit of a downside for me, but that's more personal preference. If they do add it though later, I'm talking mad shit. Just letting y'all know, talking mad shit.
Now, how I said how this game is not perfect, I do have some critiques on what could be better. So I noticed in the online play, they do not have a tournament mode. We need that. If you're playing with a group of friends, with a small community of Tekken players, we need that to have fun and actually go through a legit tournament. Now, the matchmaking and the session creating is dope. You can probably add around like 9-10 people, if not more, I think. But we need to have a actual tournament to where we can test our skills against our friends. Another thing that could be improved, and I think they've noticed some of the matches going on and what the people are saying. So with some characters, there needs to be a balance of how specific characters fight. So with Victor especially, I've noticed you're getting off so many hits, and that hit damage is crazy, by the way. I would say with Victor, Azucena, and a few others I can't think off the top of my head, but there needs to be a level balance. So they definitely need to do some patchwork when it comes to that. But other than that, this game is good in my book. It's top notch. It's the best fighting game of the PS5 era, and I would say it's gonna be top 3 of the Tekken series. This game improves on so many different levels, and it is only going to get higher as far as sales. Now, I know that sales are not everything, but when it comes to these features, and if this game is empty, that's a no-go. I need my money's worth with these games. $70. I can't spend that on every game like that. So if I'm paying $70 for a game, I need to get everything worthwhile within that game as far as story, gameplay, features, and the way it looks. So Street Fighter 6, y'all did really well with how the rollout for that game, and when it came out, y'all had a major improvement when it came to Street Fighter 5, because that game was empty. It progressed later on, it got good, but we're supposed to get that off the bat. Street Fighter 6, y'all did really well. Mortal Kombat is very empty, I will say. And I even looked at a Watch Mojo video. Shout out to Watch Mojo. They had top 10 best PS5 games. Top 10 best PS5 fighting games. Mortal Kombat 1 wasn't even on the list. They put Mortal Kombat 11 because Mortal Kombat 1 didn't have any features like that. That's saying something. That's really bad. NetherRealm, get it together. The game was just empty. Yeah, cool. You had the invasion feature. The story was great. It was good. But that online play, that customization, it's like, what else is there to do? I played Mortal Kombat for about a month and a half, and I made the mistake of buying the whole DLC package. I played that for a month and a half, put it back on the shelf. I feel like with Tekken 8, people are still going to continue to play this game throughout the year. And especially when Evo comes up. And also, Mortal Kombat tried to be slick with adding that Peacemaker DLC while Tekken 8 was still going at its peak as far as sales. So this is really going to test to see if Mortal Kombat is going to get some more sales up with this Peacemaker DLC. I doubt it with one character alone, but we'll see. But yeah, Tekken 8 overall, great game. Still playing it, and I will continue to be playing it throughout the year. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So all in all, Tekken 8 does have a few things that make me not able to give it a 10 out of 10, a perfect 10 out of 10. But I do think Tekken 8 is the definite way that fighting games need to progress. As we go on, as we move into better hardware, better firmware, better graphics, better gameplay, Tekken 8 is the standard for what we should be like moving forward. And I do think out of the Mortal Kombat 1, Street Fighter 6, and Tekken 8 drops that have happened, Tekken 8 has been the most refreshing revitalized, and overall fun game to play. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.